All right, good people, it's time to get one in. We got Jackson State's going to take on Florida A&M Rattlers. And folks, let me tell you something. You got a ball game going on down here. They're going to take it down to the swamps. That's right. They're going to take it down to the swamps. And you're going to have to go on down there to Mississippi and play this game. This one here is big time NFL football. Ain't no doubt about it. You want to talk about getting to the league, to the NFL, this one here is the game of the week. You got Mr. James Cozy going to put it down, man. He's got to go on down there, and he's going down to the swamps. He's headed down to Mississippi. This one's going to kick off at 12:30, and I'm telling you, FAMU. Man, you talk about FAMU, that's a football factory. That's a football factory right here. I mean, they got NFL players. I'm looking at the highlights. I'm like, FAMU, you headed down to Jackson. I'm going to tell you something, Coach Cozy. He thinking, he believing. He ain't thinking, we can get this game, fellas, right? We can get this game. And then you got to go over there to old Otis Ridley. That's what he say. He say straight up, I'm the director of personnel. You want to know anything about my guys, you come to see me. And Coach Ridley, let me tell you something about him, man. This guy right here, when you come on down to the swamp, man, you're going to have to sweat it out, all right? Because these boys from Jackson State, they waiting on you. They waiting on them Rattlers. This one here, Coach Ridley, you're going to have to come on down here. Okay, Coach Cozy, you're going to have to sweat it out coming down to Jackson State, right? Because this one here is big-time football. All right, you talk about two teams in the HBCU who got football factories who are ready to line up NFL scouts. This is the game of the week. This is the game that gets it done. And this is Money Mike Syndicated Podcast. We're powered up by Fanatics. We're bringing it to you, HBCU football. Now let's take a look at it and see who's doing what. You want to look at the Rattlers, man? Let me tell you what the Rattlers got. The Rattlers have got some passing going on. You got the biggest quarterback I ever seen. Folks, I'm talking about the biggest quarterback I ever seen. It's a big cat, right? But he plays football. You know, you got Daniel Richardson, right? And this guy's thrown the ball, okay, 154 times with 103 completions. That's a 66 completion percentage. Done. What's else going on down at the U? Man, you got old Nayron Jenkins, 16 solo tackles, 16 assisted. He getting backed up by Deco Wilson coming in there with 18 solos. Eric Horn is getting it in, too. He's got 15 tackles coming in. And then you got Andre Powell. You got a bunch of cats, man. I'm going to tell you, these guys here, they can really put it down, and they can do it game by game by game, right? So you got all these guys are on the hunt on the defensive side. So when you talk about it, man, but you got to flip the script and see what Jackson State is doing, right? Because you get over there, who's running the rock for Jackson State? You got Irv Mulligan carrying it 48 times, right? You got Cameron McCoy going to carry it 16 times. Travis Jr. going to pound that rock 24 times, got 127 yards. They average not a big total on rushing, right? So you look at the stats and you go back to FAMU and you say, wait a minute, guys, what are these guys doing, right? What are they doing? You get on the offensive side of the ball in FAMU, man, they going to put that ball on the ground. You got Thad Franklin carrying the rock 42 times for 163 yards. You got Devin coming in there is going to carry that rock again 35 times, and you got Somerset's going to pick it up with 28. They got a three-headed monster trying to use a back by rotation to get it done, which means they got a committee, and all these guys touch the rock, so they trying to do it. But what's going on down in this big old swamp? I'm telling you, folks, when you go on down to Mississippi, man, you're gonna be in the swamp, right? You in the swamp. But FAMU, they ain't afraid of no swamp, right? Because you got FAMU football, man. They're going to kick this off them in Jackson State. This one right here is an NFL scout's dream. There ain't no game you'd rather be at, right? This is HBCU football, right? You talking SWAC, you talking down there in Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. Come on down here, FAMU. Cozy, bring your lunch. Bring your lunch, coach. Bring your lunch, because you got to go down in there and your boys got to eat, okay? This is an old-fashioned throwback. Let's see who can put the pads on, and let's see who going to crack, right? Because Cozy bringing them boys down there to crack for Coach Ridley, man. Let me tell you something about that guy, man. When you see a guy that's floating around and he ain't got nothing but sweat popping off his forehead, right? He ain't got nothing but sweat. You gonna get a good old fashioned mama get the sweet potato pie, get the chicken, get the ribs, get the brisket, get the whole hog out. Somebody gonna eat on Saturday, okay? And that's kicking off in Veterans Memorial Stadium down in the Mississippi swamps. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. I'm talking SWAC football. I've been waiting on this one because I've been looking at this thing in the NFL, talking about there ain't enough guys. Coach really put it down. You know what Coach said? I am the director of personnel. That's NFL language right there, folks. Director of personnel. Now, you got to get on back there. You know, you got Cozy Fam. Or them Rattlers. Them Rattlers is a football factory. Man, they got the biggest guys. They got more speed. They got DBs that can play in the NFL. There ain't no doubt about it. If they lock it up on the defense, they can come out of them swamps. And they can come out with a victory because one team is going to move forward and one team is going to move backwards. And here's the game about football, folks. I'll tell you, there ain't no excuses. Okay, when you get to this level and you got all these guys and you're in there, you got two football factories, right? You got to hear me. Money Mike's talking to you. I'm saying you got two football factories. You got FAMU, okay, and then you got Jackson State. And Jackson State ain't missed a beat. So it is what it is. The game is a game. You got Coach Cosley and Coach Ridley getting ready to meet it right on the middle, and they going on down to the swamps. Because, see, you got swamps in both sides. You got the Mississippi swamps, and then you got the Florida swamps. So both of them are used to what they got to do, but this is plain old-fashioned football, folks. And I'm talking about you got them the Rattlers coming in from FAMU, and they ain't got no stopping, and they thinking they can get this. And I'm telling you, it's looking good for them because they got some big cats. Jackson State going to have to tackle. I can tell you guys that now. Jackson State, okay, but they ain't afraid. Let me tell you about them. Oh, you all got me. Y'all got Money Mike excited. All right, you talking about the Jackson State Tigers, right? We talking about straight up SWAC. Come get some football. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. I have it for you. I'm going to break it down. This one's a good one. And man, oh man, I can't wait to see the tape from this game. This is NFL football. I'm trying to bring it to you, folks. Down in the swamps, down in the Mississippi. These guys are going to get it in. And I'm going to tell you something. Jackson State ain't afraid of nobody. All right, that's just the way it go. But on the other hand, FAMU, boy, them Rattlers, they coming too. You know, this is going to be a game, may the best man win, but y'all know how I get down. In the NFL, you play for an eye, and you play for a tooth for a tooth. So you're going to see some heavy hitting. You're going to see some pads clack-a-lacking. But this one here is the NFL game of the year. That's right. You got FAMU going to take on Jackson State. They headed down to Veterans Memorial Stadium down in the Mississippi now. Down in the Mississippi. But them Florida boys, they hungry. They hungry. And I'm telling you, they snuck out a win last week. Could have lost that game, but they won. So the momentum, it's riding. But they going in there to somebody that's fearless in their house. So you got to remember that. We got nothing for you but love. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We're powered up by Fanatics, so get your HBCU gear right there from me on Fanatics. Check the descriptions, but man, oh man, we doing this like nobody else. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. I got FAMU and I got Jackson State. All things are possible to those who believe. Let's get it in. You're talking about SWAC. You're talking about NFL football factories, Jackson State versus FAMU. FAMU's headed down to the Mississippi swamps, and they ain't afraid of nobody. But Jackson State knows this is our house, and nobody is going to come in our house and take nothing from us. Y'all stay tuned. All things are possible to those who believe. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Football, and we're bringing you the NFL Game of the Year, SWAC football. We'll see you soon.